Hello once more. Welcome to our road trip, the Septic Shock road trip. That's
Get out of the road, you hippie. No,
your North Carolinian
right.
hippie.
North Carolina hippie. That's where we are.
Yeah. Hey
We're
Ron.
still wait, we were in North Carolina last time too, right? Weren't we?
Yes,
Are we
we're
still there
we're
then?
remaining in
Where
North
are we? I
Carolina.
have no idea where we are. We're remaining in
Hang
North
on.
Carolina. Yeah. Hey,
Let,
Clive, how's it going?
let me just bring it up here and I'll tell you exactly. Well, we're going back to Lake Lure, right, for a start,
Lake
for
Lua.
for
Okay.
our second film, which was where Dogs of Hell was set, right?
Okay.
America's
Mhm.
mountain playground, right?
I
Um,
think you know what we need for these shows is we need to get like one of those like Indiana Jones maps where it's like us in a car and a map and like
or the
like
Red
going
Line.
like this. Yeah, the red line thing to showing our path kind of thing. So where we're going. We need to
Yeah,
bring that up so we know
yeah.
people can follow us.
Who's
They
going to do
can
that
and
then?
so people and then people could actually take the same route as us.
Oh, I mean, I'm
When
sure
you know
there's.
when we're super rich and famous, we're like, oh, let's do the Ron Clive route. You
What
know.
do you mean when? I mean, we are, right? We got the money. We got
Well,
rolling in
yeah,
from
but yeah,
this.
but well,
Yeah,
I mean, we're not. I don't know if we're to the point where people would like follow us yet, but I think it's coming though. So
yeah. All right. Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah.
Um. So Shelby, I guess, we're Shelby, North Carolina,
Hmm,
where the um the Earl Owensby studio see
right.
last-ish Ed
Hmm.
we talked about, and of course we barely talked about final exam. We talked a lot about the final exam, didn't record it, and then quickly recapped.
Quickly recap what we had talked about. So hope you
Yes.
enjoyed that. Yeah.
So yeah, so Shelby basically, but a bit of Lake Lure for the second film. But our first film, so it's quite interesting, I thought. So these two, not that they're great films or even good films, but they are kind of both of these films are kind of good examples of exactly the kind of films I wanted to talk about on this. The
Oh, really?
reason I started this project, right,
Oh,
is
really?
because they
Okay.
feel very of their place and time, right? Like, so I find them kind of interesting. So yeah, so first up from 1981, A Day of Judgment, um,
Hmm.
directed by one CDH or Charles Reynolds, written by Tom McIntyre, also wrote Dogs of Hell. And this appears to be, is it set in like the 1920s or the 1930s, something like that?
Yes. 20s.
Right.
20s. Yeah.
And it's a small town, and so basically it's kind of a multi-character piece where we're introduced to all the different townsfolk, and in
Uh,
particular, you know, their any disgruntlements that they have, right, with each other.
hmm.
There's
Right.
like one of the
They're
big
all
villains is like a banker, right, who tricks a farmer out of his land,
right. Yeah.
and there's like a
Is he tricking or is he just sort of like foreclosing on him and
yes, but
being
he does
cruel
it
about it?
in a tricky way, doesn't he? Like
Oh,
yeah,
right.
and yeah, basically merciless kind of capitalist, right?
Yeah.
And there's like someone else cheating on their husband with the
Yeah.
local
Right.
cool guy, and there's a
Right. Yeah.
priest and all these different
Yeah. All
it
these
remind me,
sinners.
yeah, remind me a little bit of that film Brian Singer made before Usual Suspects, Public Access. Did you ever see that? Where a
No.
guy starts up a public access show in a small town and he just asks one question. The town's called Brewster, I think, and he's like, "What's wrong with Brewster?" It's just that, and it's a call-in show, and then people call in and they complain about, and it all escalates, and he kind of it opens up a can of worms, right?
Uh,
In that kind of, the what's going on under the surface of
mm,
small idyllic seeming towns in that kind of David Lynch kind of Blue Velvet kind of way.
mm.
It
I
remind,
expect. I thought it was a little more like that one we did long a while ago, where with like the one that was the silent film with the train, the sinning
oh
train, and
yeah.
then yeah, yeah. What was that one called again?
Ah, was it Hellbound or something like that? Like
Hell Train,
Hellbound
or
Train
Hellbound or
or
something. Yeah,
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 yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So it was like every train had like a certain different sin that they were doing, and then the devil would come in and he would dance because he was so
Mm,
happy. So it was similar kind of ideas. Like here's one sin, and then the guy's gonna come in and get his retribution, and oh, another sin. Oh, he's gonna get his retribution. Yeah. So
right. And
yeah.
yeah, so spoilers as well again. And into this small town comes Death, with a
Hmm. Yes.
scythe.
So
Uh,
instead of the devil the time, now it's just death. Yeah. So
yeah. So
mm.
he's got a scythe which he uses. There's a decapitation, and yeah. So and he takes out these kind of evildoers, I suppose, these sinners, right?
Mhm.
And spoiler alert, at the very end, it turns out that all these people are having dreams, and it's kind
Mhm.
of their Scrooge moment, right, where they can
Yeah.
mend their ways, or go
Sure.
to
Yeah.
hell, because they kind of go to hell as well. There's like a brief kind of, I mean, unfortunately we're watching a not very good quality version, so some of it's a bit difficult to
Mm.
see properly, right?
Mm.
Um,
Right.
so it's an interesting kind of. I thought it was at its best. Like there's some horror moments, like when like someone's pulled down by like zombies, it seems, in her
Uh,
garden, right? There's like these little
right. Yeah.
flashes, and when Death turns up with his shining eyes, and like those bits are actually pretty good, like quite atmospheric. I thought, like, oh, that's good. Like that's a kind of quite well done.
Uh,
But then it's spaced out by it's kind of like a drama, really, more than a horror film, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so there's just a lot of talking, a lot of people, getting
Mm.
on each other's nerves, and then Death turns up, and there's like some quite nice atmospheric set pieces, but then it's back to talking again, right?
Talking again. Yeah.
Although I have to admit, I didn't find it. I thought it would bore me. It's not. I didn't find it that boring. It's not a great watch ending, but it was just, I thought it would become more tedious. I was surprised that I kind of went with it.
Mm.
But the horror bits, I think, showed, a certain flair, and I found
Yeah.
that imagery quite effective. Um, how did you get on with A Day of Judgment, Ron?
Jugdement.
Hmm.
Jugdement. No, yeah, I thought it was very boring. I'm
Ah, okay.
surprised you were bored by it. So yeah, it made me reflect. Like, why is it that so? I mean, if this is exactly kind of the type of film that you were hoping to do on this trip, I was hoping that this trip through the states and through this golden era was going to be like a lot of these kind of like hidden gems and really like kind of fun little like interesting. But why are there so many of them just so boring? Like so many of them just why are they're all so much talking? Like I don't know. I was like these are so boring. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't
I
know
suppose
why
you could say that
why people
talk
think like
is.
I want to make a horror movie and then I'm just gonna put lots and lots of talking in it. So
Well,
I just
I
don't
suppose
get
the
it. Like
answer to your question is talk is cheap, right? So
yeah,
it's something you can do on a
yeah.
low
I guess
budget.
yeah.
Um,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
did you not? Oh, hang on, my cats are fighting. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Oi, 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 Matt.
Yeah, while he's gone, I'll just say that yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was quite dull. It was just a lot of talking, and there was talk, and it was kind of preachy too, a little bit. I don't know if it was directed or written by like actual like religious people, but I think maybe it was. That's why it reminded me of Hellbound because it seemed like it was. Um, I was just commenting that I that it
I could
reminded me
hear
of
you.
Hellbound because I couldn't tell if it was written directed by someone who's actually religious because it seemed almost like they were just sort of like, oh, don't do these things or this might happen to you kind of thing. So it seemed as, I mean, in a different way, but as much of like a be careful, don't do this or this
Right.
might happen to you kind of as much as the Hellbound was, right? So which
Well,
is sort of
Ron,
like,
if you
yeah,
really want the answer to these questions, you of course have to go and watch that Earl Owensby, the Man, the Myth
I
documentary, right?
guess, yeah, yeah.
Find out.
But he wasn't in this, right? He was just his studio, right?
I think he was the producer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
would is that in Would this movie be in that documentary? I don't think so because he wasn't in it,
I
right?
think it probably would be because it's his production and
Uh,
shot at his studio, and a lot of I noticed some names like Worth Keat, was his, the guy who directed Dogs. There's a lot of
hmm,
Owensby people
right. Okay.
involved. Um, yeah, I can tell I'm really selling the Earl Owensby Man the Myth documentary too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, yeah. That was were you not at all? Did you not like those horror-y bits? Did you not find them kind of quite well done?
Yeah, I mean they were fine, but I don't know, like it's yeah, I don't know like how if I should watch these as sort of like, oh, good for you. You were able to do like one little scene. Like it's sort of like it's almost like you're
Condescending.
giving them too much condescending a little bit, yeah, because it's sort
Okay.
of like, it's like, oh, well, you got one scene that was really good for you. Like, but I mean, if you're making a horror movie, I would hope that they would kind of try to do more than that. I mean, it was sort of like the minimum standard I would expect from people trying to make a horror movie. So yeah, they were okay when they did it, but it was so few and far between and quick that
Yeah.
it was
Although,
basically just like it's this or you get like almost nothing, right? So
right.
it's
Although I would
yeah.
argue the fact that they're dished out sparingly is kind of
Mm,
the reason that they're quite effective, I think, is,
mm,
because I just, yeah, I see where you're coming from. I'm kind of
yeah.
surprised I wasn't bored by it. Everything about it screams
I'm
it should
surprised
be
too.
massively boring.
Yeah.
Um, but for some reason I was like okay with it. Like I didn't mind sitting and watching these things unfold, and then that's good. It was like I'm not trying to sell it
Yeah.
to anyone, but I was kind of, yeah, I was kind of surprised myself. Like, shouldn't I be really bored right now? But for some reason I kind of wasn't. Maybe I was
Maybe you
just
were high
it's
or
possible I
drunk.
still had residual gummy
Yeah.
highness. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Actually,
think
I
we
have
talked about this.
definitely
The
been
next movie we're
more
the
chill
next movie we were
this
talking
week.
about,
Yeah.
you watched the next movie we're going to talk about while you were drunk, and I said that that's cheating
Yes.
because I think by using like actual enhancers
Stimulants.
enhances simulants, whatever you're enhancing your enjoyment of these movies, which you really shouldn't be as enjoyable. I think so. Yeah,
Well, I enjoyed more than you did, so
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the
So,
winner.
hey, yeah. Are
Um,
you?
so yeah. Putting Day Judgment back in the box, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, we move on to
yeah,
Death Screams from 1982, and yeah, we're
right.
back to Lake Lure apparently, where they shot some of this. I'm guessing that's the lake the couple at the beginning are murdered, thrown into,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, so this is a slasher film directed by David Nelson, who is kind of famous, right? I didn't know him, but
Uh,
there's a I believe there was a long running TV series, The Adventures of
hmm.
Ozzie and Harriet, right?
Those in Harriet, yeah, yeah. I never saw it. It was before my time, but it was very, yeah, really, 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 really famous,
Yeah, yeah.
like early sitcom.
Yeah, I've never seen it
And
either.
yeah,
I don't even really know. I looked it up briefly. Is it like a married couple and their kids, right? I think.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like a home drama, home sitcom kind of thing. But it was one of the first early
Yes.
like family sitcoms,
And there's like
and
million episodes or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess the husband and wife were really married in real life. Is that true,
Oh,
or am
okay.
I
Okay. Is that right?
or am I
No,
mistaking? I
that
don't know.
sounds
So
kind of familiar now that you mention it. Because it's one of those things, isn't it, that even though we didn't grow up with it, it's something
it was
you'd
kind of like
see
the
referenced in other films, like people, oh, you're a regular
yeah, yeah,
Ozzie and Harriet or
yeah.
something
I was
like
in
that.
her. Yeah. So I may have been conflating it with I Love Lucy, where they were really married. So I'm not sure if
Oh,
that's
her and Desi.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure, but it may have been the same thing. But that they were really, and then so this guy
Right.
was the good director of this movie was the actual son of them, I think, right? So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
or at least of Ozzy, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I feel Ozzie and Harriet might have been more closer to drama more than the comedy of I Love. I mean, I Love Lucy is one of those things that
Possibly, yeah.
that was on when I was a kid in reruns.
Right.
I've seen
Yeah.
I Love Lucy. I know what
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know who Lucille Ball is, and I kind of but Ozzy and Harriet, I don't ever remember it being shown on TV when I was a kid, like a rerun.
Yes, yeah. So actually, I believe it was, yeah, they were all like a real, um, they were a real family actually. Yeah, so it was Ozzy
Okay.
and Harriet, both Nelson, and then David and Ricky Nelson, so I believe they were the actual, yeah,
So is
an
that
actual family.
Ricky Nelson, Ricky Nelson, the singer Ricky Nelson?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. Hmm.
Ah, oh, okay. I didn't
Hmm.
make that connection. So anyway, David Nelson of Ozzy and Harriet fame is the director of this film. He also directed another couple of films. There's one I quite would like to see called Last Plane Out, which is seems to be an
Hmm.
80s action film set in Nicaragua, um,
Hmm.
starring Jan Michael Vincent. So that sounds pretty good. I mean, it's at
Good.
the
Yes.
height of Jan Michael Vincent's kind of fucked upness as well. So it's
Right. Right. Yeah.
so I'm quite keen to, I haven't watched, I'm guessing it's exactly the kind of thing you're gonna find on YouTube, I think, if you went looking.
Sure. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Yeah.
I might watch that tonight. I quite like the idea of that kind of like yeah, that kind of American in over their head in a, but you don't see many like set during that period of Nick. I can only think of like Salvador, right, with
Uh,
James Woods, which is a actually a really fucking
uh,
good film, right? But
uh,
yeah, kind of quite keen to see and Michael Vincent fucked up
hmm.
trying to escape from Nicaragua.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, so Death Screams. So this is I mean, I guess it's David Nelson attempting to do a slasher film, but it's a
Hmm.
weird slasher film. Like,
Yeah.
and yes, as Ron pointed out, I was quite drunk watching it, but I have the feeling I kind of would have enjoyed this anyway. But drunkenly watching it kind of deepened my enjoyment a
Heightened.
little bit. It's
Right.
not a
Right.
good slasher film, that's for sure.
No.
It's not a good slasher film, but it is kind of yeah, I don't know. It's like, well, for a start, I'm not really quite sure who the killer is
Well,
and why.
so yeah, I didn't either. When I watched, it, I was like, "Who's this again now?" Yeah, so you know that it's always a bad slasher film when the killer is revealed and you're like, "Who
Who?
is that?"
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
It's
is
supposed to
even
be a big reveal, but
worse.
you're like, "I don't know, remember that person," right? So
This is
yeah,
even
so
worse in that regards than Final Exam,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. So but so this was cleared up for me when I watched the making of.
Okay.
So did you watch the making of?
Uh, I think I did, but I don't remember anything about it. I
Uh,
was pretty
so,
well gone by that point.
right, right. So to be honest, like it, as usually happens when there's a making of in these situations, the making of was way more interesting than the film itself, right? So,
Right.
yeah, it's so really
Like a
fascinating. So,
trauma film.
uh, yeah, you remind me in the future if you ever have a making of to watch the making of first, and then actually puts things in perspective when you're watching it. So
Okay.
apparently, according to the making of, it was the gym teacher, but I don't even remember
Right.
him as a character. Sure, that's what they said. So, but it was like there was a lot of interviews with the writer who seemed to have like a fairly decent head on his shoulders and seemed to have written like a fairly straight up um, conventional slasher film, which then the director, what's his name? Not
David
Ricky Nelson, the
Nelson.
other Nelson, David Nelson, basically just kept changing and then making it weird and he's like, why are you doing that? But he was like, well, I guess it's not up to me. I'm just the writer, right? So he seemed to be quite put out by the fact that they kept changing his script and they changed it in a really weird way. So he went in this whole long explanation in the beginning sequence, which was supposed to be in a car, right? There are two lovers in a car, and they're supposed to hear so. Oh, do you hear something? And then it was supposed to be like a sunroof, and so they smashed the sunroof, and the guy was going to get pulled out of the sunroof, and they were going to smashing the windows and get pulled out or so. And there's a whole big like thing with that. And then they were both going to get, their heads cut off or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever, something to do with that. I can't remember the details, but it was a very kind of big, kind of elaborate opening, slasher scene to
Right.
kind of set up the movie, right? Which sounded pretty good. But then so apparently they emailed the guy, or one this me emailed. They called the guy.
Wow. Ahead of their time in North Carolina.
So they called the guy and like, oh, actually, we decided that we're not gonna use a car. We're gonna use a motorcycle. And the writer was like, "Well, how are you going to do? Because it's all like windows and stuff. Like, how are you going to?" So, and we decided we're not going to kill them with a knife or whatever it was supposed to be. We're gonna use a garrote, or they calls it a garrote, but I would say a garrote, right?
Garage,
How do you say that? A garrote. Yeah, well, he called it a garrote in the thing, and he's like, but that didn't make sense because you can't garrote two people at the same time. But
No.
that's exactly what they did. So they just had two people making it on a motorcycle, and then someone took a garrote and then wrapped around both their necks. But it's
Yeah.
super dark, so you can't see what's
No.
happening.
I
And
didn't
that's the
even
only
make out it
thing.
was a garage. I thought it was just like a chain
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. I didn't know either. So this is all from the writer's,
Ah,
explanation in the making of featurette, which was like, I wish I had known that before I watched the movie because that made it so much more interesting to watch, knowing that what it was supposed to be versus because I remember watching it like I don't even know what the hell's happening. It's just too dark and there's something around their necks and okay, I guess they're dead. I don't even know. Like you can't even barely tell they're even die, right? So yeah, so it's
yeah.
that was much more interesting. So
It's also kind of one of those things where I think when we originally see that character who it turns out to be, it's such they're so obviously like it's one of those things that you
yeah, like, oh,
assume,
it
oh,
can't be
that
that guy
can't.
because that's too obvious.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
then it
yeah.
is, and you're
You think
like,
you
oh,
think he's a
yeah,
red herring. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I think he was at the carnival like, "Hey, how's it going?" He was kind of, "Hey, you guys,
yes.
yeah." I think it was that guy and I was like,
Yeah, it was
that's
the
too
guy
easy.
the chick at the booth fancied him, but then he was
Yes.
chatting up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
girl,
Sure. Yeah,
Susan
yeah, yeah.
Kiger, right, who was in Playboy, and before this was
All
in
right. Yeah.
a porn film called Hot Nasties. But I don't think she does any hardcore now. I think she just does a sexy dance or something. But she's clearly
Well,
the like
yeah.
the focus of the film,
So,
right?
so so apparently she's gone the other way. I mean, most of them kind of start this and then can't get jobs and they go into porn, right? But she apparently started in porn and then worked her way out of it. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I haven't
yeah.
seen Hot Nasties. It's on the list, obviously, with a title like that. But from what I'm reading, I'm wondering if it might be one of those things she might not even have known it was being used
Uh,
in a porn film, right? Because
oh, really? Okay.
yeah, she just does a sexy dance apparently. Because there's a big difference between Playboy and sexy dance and
Mm,
actual
sure.
fucking, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, Hot Nasties. I'll let you know how I get on with it if I find a
Okay.
copy. Um,
Great.
I think what I like
I'm
about this film, well, I tell you exactly what I like about this film actually is I am a sucker for a
short
carnival
pants.
film.
A carnival, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
carnivals, and to be honest, the chintzier the better. Like I
Uh,
love a
well,
shit
so
carnival.
apparently they found a real carnival and they just filmed at this
Yeah,
real carnival, which is kind of because at first time also made it more interesting because when I watched it, I was kind of like, oh, this is a pretty crappy carnival.
yeah.
But now knowing that it was actually like a real
Oh
carnival, I
yeah.
was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting then. So
I love. I remember once when I was up in Aomori, we happened across this like small little fun fair. And me and my wife, we had so much. It was the shittest fun fair I've ever been to in my life. It was awesome. I love a shit fun fair. Like everything was terrible. Like everything was just so bog standard. It was fucking great. So
yeah,
I do like a shit carnival, and this one does look pretty terrible. Um,
yeah.
although I have to admit I was highly offended by so there's a kisses booth, right?
Oh yeah,
With a chick who gives kisses for like $1, and
yeah.
apart from when the bearded bald man, the
The,
bearded
the guy
bald,
the guy that looks like you wanted
yes,
kisses and then she
and
kept
then she
changing it.
charges
She
$5,
kept
and then she's
raising
out
the
to lunch.
price
Yeah,
and then she's out to lunch
I
because
felt
he looked like you.
highly discriminated against, but I was enjoying myself, so it's kind of funny. I also
But I
noticed.
mean, yeah. Go
I was
ahead,
going to say
keep going.
in their haunted house that they've, which looks fucking rubbish as well. They do have a Tor Johnson in there, I noticed.
Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah.
know what's the Tor Johnson.
Tor Johnson is the Swedish wrestler who was in Plan 9 from Outer Space. He's like the big
Oh, okay. Right.
the guy who plays
Oh,
the
okay.
police
Right. Okay.
inspector, and then he's a zombie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Right. I remember. Yeah. So I
yeah,
didn't remember that. I
yeah.
didn't notice
He's
that he was in
in
that.
that haunted house. Yeah, I'd love to go to this carnival. It looks fucking great. So I think that's
Yeah.
part of the fun.
So yeah. Yeah. I mean, in general, it's not a good movie at all.
No,
But the thing I appreciated more about this one than the last one, which kind of elevated a little bit better for me, was it made quite obvious and not entirely unsuccessful attempts at humor in this type,
right.
which I thought was pretty good. And so so the two that die at the beginning of the film, which was like, oh, are they dead? I can't really tell. It's too dark and I don't know what's happening. But then they leave their bodies floating in the river as sort of like a sight gag
Yes.
throughout the whole movie, where there's
Yeah,
like
that
they're
was
just
quite
like,
good.
oh, where do you think they are? And then they're just like floating through the river.
Yeah,
And then the end credits rolls over the fact that they still haven't found these
yeah,
bodies floating
yeah.
in the
That was
river,
quite a
which is
good sick gag.
not bad. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, it was
It's pretty
funny.
fun. Yeah.
Also, the other thing I liked about this movie is all the short shots. Very much
Yeah.
of the
Short
period,
shorts.
the
Yeah.
short shots. There's
Right.
one chick in particular. Those short shots are fucking ridiculous. I mean, you can clearly see her
Yeah.
butt cheeks, like
Right. Yeah.
in the whole film, and they're nice butt cheeks. I mean, they're horrible
Yeah.
shots, but
Yeah.
and then there's another bit
Yeah.
like that. I think when the Lily character, the one who was in Hot Nasties, she like turns up and someone says, "You look fantastic," and it's clearly coded for Christ, you got nice tits, because she's wearing like this ridiculous fucking
Yeah.
top with no, which is
Yeah.
just she might as well just be
Yeah.
topless, right? And
Yeah.
the guy
Well,
goes,
then
"You
there's
look great," and I was thinking, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
well,
and then
that's
there's
one
the
way
girl
to
that
put it."
goes in that leaves the bra on, but it goes in the shower and then gets wet, but then it's like the
Yeah,
bra was like totally see through anyway, right? So, but yeah, but then there's the going back, I think you had asked what the killer's motivation was. That
mm,
the writer also mentioned that, which apparently a lot of that was cut. So there's like this really random flashback scene, which was, I think, supposed to explain his motivation, but you have no context of what's happening or where it's coming from, and all it does is
right,
make you more confused. But I guess it turns out that he sort of like wanted like a pure girl, and so that girl, the main
right,
girl, the one who was supposed to be very pure, and then he found out that she wasn't or something, and then he sort of went crazy because she wasn't what he thought he was.
right.
So she what he thought she was. So anyway, that's what apparently the motivation was
Ah,
behind
okay.
that. So
Because the main red herring as well is there's like a mentally disabled character, right?
yes,
Who steals like baseball equipment. This is a very strange kind of,
yeah.
and they're
So
talking
yeah,
about like
that's the
how
other
much
thing.
equipment he's stolen during the year.
But so that's the thing. So they had a lot of interviews with that guy, the guy who played the mentally handicapped individual,
Uh,
and so he was talking about he's kind of interesting to listen to. He had a lot of interesting things to talk about, and about playing that character. And he apparently had auditioned for another character, but got cast as that one. And he was like, "Oh, he was like a real like I'm gonna sink my teeth in this role and really try to
mm,
do really well with it." And he's like, "Oh, and of course I'm the main kind of suspect for this." And it actually, you said he was the red herring, but I never once considered that he was actually the murderer. I was like,
no,
there's no
no,
way
I think just because
or
I
no.
know how these films
Yeah.
are constructed, like I could
Right,
see
right,
what they were
yes.
trying to do, but no, clearly he
Yeah. But
wasn't.
it was
No,
very, yeah, clearly not, right? So
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, I mean, and going back with the movie we talked about last time, which was like, you know, able-bodied actors playing,
right.
playing characters with, mental disabilities, which is a fine line. But I think he was also supposed to be a brain injury, I believe,
Ah, okay,
maybe.
right.
So possibly so.
So
In that
get out
case,
of
it was
jail
maybe more
free.
acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah, get a jail free. Anyway, so he's yeah, he did his best, I think. But you could tell he was really trying. Anyway, so
right. Um,
yeah.
to be fair as well, there's a few flashes of I thought, oh, that's it. There's like one quite good kill. Not that the kill is great, but I thought the imagery was quite haunting for the few seconds it was on screen. There's like a bit where a girl gets a plastic bag over her head, she's suffocated, and then the corpse is going around a carousel. And I thought,
Well,
oh, that's quite a cool image, the corpse
yeah.
going around. I thought, yeah,
But they did an interview with that girl too, who
okay,
said she's like, I'd never acted before. She was a model and she'd never acted before, so they cast her, but she had no idea what to do. She had never acted a day in her life. So she pointed out something which I think I thought as well when you're watching, is that so she gets shot with an arrow out of nowhere.
yes, in her back first, and
Yeah,
she
and so she's in her
stumbles.
back and she stumbles. She's like, really bleeding, and she stumbles down. She rolls down the hill, and then of course, the first thing you do when you're shot with an arrow and you're running from someone trying to kill you is you go to a carousel and have a seat.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
yes,
then of course, and allow the guy to sneak up behind you with a plastic bag, which is hilarious actually.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think it's meant to be funny. So, but like I think
No,
that's pretty funny. So, and then,
but
but yes, the image
yes,
of her just kind of riding around was quite
yeah,
quite
yeah. It's
quite
weird.
good. So
I like
I
when that
think that's
happens.
probably why they did it, because they
Yes,
didn't know how to get her there without
exactly,
so
exactly. I do like it in a
they should
film
have just done
when
without
something.
the arrow. I think so.
I like it when something kind of um kind of weirdly profound or interesting is
Hmm.
side by side with something really ridiculous, and you don't
Yeah,
quite know.
yeah.
The brain's like,
Because, but also like it's a quite a flimsy plastic bag, because she really could have just done,
right.
like, so it's also pretty funny. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, oddly enough, you seem like you kind of enjoyed watching this a bit more than
Well, there were elements of it. I think I appreciated a little bit more of what they were trying. It was still pretty boring and badly done, but it was less than the other one. It had moments of like, oh, okay, I can really appreciate that. Like
yeah,
there's stuff that it was something that was more out of the ordinary, right? It wasn't
yeah.
just talking. It was
I
yeah.
I think I basically I think I like a film that has like a strong personality. Like this feels like a
Yes, yeah, exactly.
it has a
I
flavor,
don't
right?
think I don't think the Judgment Day one really had much
No,
personality. It was just yeah. So
no.
whereas this one,
But
I think yeah, did it wasn't good by any means, but I think it did have more personality. So yeah,
yeah,
so I think that's a good
it's like
way of putting it.
talking to someone really weird you meet at a party or something. Like you don't
Yeah,
necessarily want to hang out with them all the time, but they're kind of fascinating for
but
that
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah, and
evening.
they're a good story one for another
Yeah,
time, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
So there we
yeah,
go. There we
okay,
go.
yeah,
We shall be returning. We are staying rather in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
So I've got my $5. I'm going to that Kisses
More.
booth now.
Oh, she's out to
And
lunch now.
she's
Sorry,
back from lunch
she's out for
and
dinner.
wearing some short shorts.
Closed for the day.
Yeah. Highly offensive. So until next time. Cheerio.
Get out of the road, North Carolina hippies.
There is a man who lives next door. He has a girl that I adore. I asked him for his daughter's hand. He said, no sir, mister, you're a wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. There is a man who lives next door. He has a girl that I adore. I asked him for his daughter's hand. He said, no sir, mister, you're a wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. I try to erase the shame from my name, but everybody says, listen, this is just the same. Come on, people, don't you really understand? I'm a mean old nasty, filthy, dirty, rotten wild man, yeah. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. But he says, listen, mister, it's just the same. Come on, people, don't you really understand? I'm a mean old mouse, a filthy, dirty, rotten wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. I'm a wild man. Yeah. Blah, 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 now, so touch around.